So, in today's video, I want to talk about the current situation that is happening inside the US, and I want to go over a couple things in my mind where it's just like this is basically a warning slash, you know, prediction of what's going to happen. Prediction one could be that, you know, Trump ends the corporation, and it's one of those things where you're just like, well, if Trump ends the corporation of the United States of America, which, it seems pretty difficult job to do, you know, then I don't know what the outcome will be after this, because there's a lot of players in the international community right now who controls the supply and demand of the entire market and has a socialist franchise throughout the US and are aiding and abating China on their expansion, as well as political and territorial takeover of America. So, we could go both ways. If Biden gets in that White House, then it's going to be a problem because real estate is going to be owned by China. It's like half of the real estate inside the US is nearly owned by China. So we're going to have a lot of farms being bought up by China. Bill Gates is like the biggest player when it comes to buying up all the failing farms, because it's not the farmers who dictate trade. It's the international community, the Trilateral Commission, that dictate trades. Because how are you going to be a successful farmer, if you can't control the supply and demand of your products, as well as distribution, let alone the marketing for it, especially the meat market and everything else like that, which is a huge monopoly inside the US. So, you know, it's one of those type of thing where you're just like, America is being slowly being taken over by a foreign entity that doesn't really have Americans' best interests at heart. And just look at Greece and what happened to Greece. I mean, just look at what the Rothschild family did to Greece, basically, by controlling the supply and demand of the entire market in Greece using China. And then they flooded Greece as a gateway for Chinese expansion in the West. And so I'm not sure why is the Rothschild family aiding China. I mean, China, maybe they own China, through financial ownership of the CCP and intelligence, and stuff like that. I got a good feeling that the Rothschild family owns China and Russia, because I was told that 50% of Russia's GDP is owned by central banks, and that was like the main reason why Putin was sending, liquidating some of his wealth overseas to a secure currency like the US dollars. So, we could go in a way for 2021 that we're only going to be able to dictate after the election, but it's not really the president who makes the decision. It's the people that controls the international community that dictate how successful the nation is going to be, because the president doesn't really control the nation. So it's just pretty frustrating, um, today and this week, this past month, I've been free from coffee. I have been free from meat. I have been eating a lot of greens, and I just recently ate um, some grapes and green apples, as well as freaking some nuts, I would say, just to keep a little bit of fat in the system, you know, just a little bit, not too much, and that way I can balance it out, raw greens and nuts and stuff like that. So it's just extremely frustrating what is happening inside the U.S. We'll see what's gonna happen in on the 20th. You know, we're looking at something really. This timeline right now, I would say the current present situation inside the U.S. is not looking very good at all. So it's just, you know, my plan so far that I have is like, you know, I'm just gonna buy a piece of land somewhere and just grow greens and just live like a super simple life. I want to get one of those. I don't want to have a bed inside my house. I want to have those. It's like those chambers, right? Where you go inside the chamber and you compress it, and you have like, I want to compress it with like 20% oxygen or not too much pressure, because that can cause side effects. And it helps you sleep and stuff like that, and it helps you keep young too, and it rejuvenates the cells and stuff like that. So I heard good things about that. So it'd be nice to have a little shed somewhere in the middle of nowhere with a little pod. You know, I can just open the pod, slip in, compress the air, add more oxygen into my system, and then just wake up and do some farming. You know, pick up some raw eggs out of the farms and make a shake and drink it. You know, grow some cabbage and stuff like that, and just eat it, and just watch the world slowly, you know, burn away, with people literally pushing their hair away in debt, screaming, trying to get out of the hole that they put themselves in. So it'll be kind of nice to just sit there and just say, you know, I told you so, bro. Told you it was coming, you know. But it sounds pretty bad, honestly. I mean, it is really bad. So, oh man, what needs to happen inside the U.S. is a political change, because the thing that's happening inside the U.S. is like, it's sad, extremely sad, and we're not really heading anywhere. So anyway, I gotta get to sleep. I gotta get to work tomorrow at 5 a.m. and just I'm doing an update on this video where, you know, just what I think, and for my extensive research, I believe that we are headed towards a very difficult outcome, because the population didn't make the right decision. Because the people who really runs the US is the people. Okay, the people are the one who is responsible for making everybody else rich. So if you're, you know, making that sort of decision, then you're the one at fault for all the problems inside the US. So good night, everybody, and hopefully things turns out all right for some of, you know, the rest of everybody else inside the US.